Hi everybody, I promised you that I would make videos whenever I can, something from now on, so I just got some new jars from Walmart. Get your jars from Walmart because right now they're like $10.87 or something. They fluctuate, they go up to 11, they come back to 10. So I'm getting ready to do beans in greens broth. Okay, you could use it for anything, soups or stews or whatever. Beans in greens broth, and this is just my salsa that I just canned. It just came out. All right, so see you later. Wash your jars and place them in the oven on 220. Some people say 225, close, okay, 220. Okay, for about 20 minutes. 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on what kind of oven you have. Wash your jars. Okay, I have 9-pint jars washed. Okay, and I'm getting ready to put them in here and put them in the oven, like I said, under 220 for about, let's say, 15 minutes maybe. Okay. 10 to 20 minutes, somewhere in there. 20 minutes is safe. And wash your beans. Okay, I have navy beans from Walmart. Wash your beans. As you can see, some of them are miscolored. And I know years ago when my grandmother used to do them, she found stones in them and everything else. So go through your beans, pick through them, make sure there's no stones or anything or bad beans in them, and wash them and set them aside. I found a bad one right from the start. Check out this one. The beans are sifted through, and I'm about to rinse them. My jars are out of the oven. Okay, so after rinsing your beans, whatever kind you're using, you can use any kind you want. After rinsing them, put only 1/2 cup of beans in each jar. And the reason you do that is because beans will expand. And when you put them in the jars, they expand. Plus, I'm going to put, if you guys remember, the other night I made kale greens. And I know it looks crazy, but it's cooled down. This is the juice from the kale greens that is very, very healthy for you. And I didn't want to throw it out, so I'm going to use it for my beans. So I have beans and kale green juice, so to speak, to use for soups and stews. Remember, 1/2 cup of beans only because they expand in the jar during the process. Then you add 1/4 of a teaspoon of unrefined salt, not regular table salt. I use the pink salt, Himalayan pink salt. So 1/4 tablespoon of salt. Okay, I have my Himalayan salt in there. And as you can see, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 jars. And I still had beans left over in here. So I guess I'll do those a little later or use them for something else today, for a recipe for today. But 9 jars, and now I'm going to start filling these jars up with the juice from the greens. That looks really weird on this camera, but it looks good in real life. Amen. And lots of nutrition for you and your family. And I have to tell you this, I'm cold packing, okay? The beans are cold. The jars are cooling down. They were in the oven, but they're cool. And then the kale greens juice is cool from last night. And my canner is cool. And I have the water down in it. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. I think from the chemicals or something happens, but you can clean your canner out. There's different ways of doing it. And I'm about to pack. And this is where you get a little messy, okay? I just wanted to do like one of these so you guys can see me doing one. Let me see, where's my, hold on. What do I do? Oh, here it is. Hold on. Okay, forgot to put it in. All right, you take this. And sometimes I just try to wipe off the bottom. Just because it'll make a mess. Don't fear, you just clean it up when you're done. Now, I'll fill it up to the neck. Okay. There's greens hanging from it. See what I'm saying? It's nutritious. Fill it up to about right the line. About right there. Fill it up to about the neck. All right, and then you are ready for the next one. And see, now do you see why I tell you to use vinegar wipe off the rims with vinegar because all of the grease from the green juice just probably hit the lid of that jar. So we have to clean them off. All right, and I'll finish doing the rest. Okay, now as you can see, I have the beans in with the salt, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then I put my greens juice. Still has a little bit of greens left in it. I put my greens juice in, and I still had some left over, so I'll make this at another time, another shift, I guess. And I'm getting ready to wipe off the rims in vinegar. Remember vinegar? I told you in my other video when I did the, what was it, the ground meat and what was it, ground meat and pork? Yeah. Dip your, it's hard to do like this. Dip it in your vinegar, and I like to squeeze mine out so that I could use a lot of sides. You can keep folding it over and over and over. And then, wait, let me see. Open this up, hopefully without dropping it. Okay. There you go. Okay. And just wipe your rims. Wipe them pretty good. Okay, wipe some. A lot of time people just wipe. You ever see somebody they're doing it and they're wiping. What I like to do is I like to look at it, make sure it's clean, wipe it, wipe the rim, and make sure it's clean. And if it's clean, then I'll wipe another rim. Okay, and sometimes you can't even go by that. It's clean. Well, yeah, it's clean. And then I'll wipe another rim. I like to move my paper towel around. So yeah, I guess I'm a little strange, but just to make sure, because you pay money for your jars, right? You pay money for your jars. You pay money for those lids. Okay, you get free lids when you order jars. But then again, there's times where you are going to make extra stuff and you need new lids, more lids, right? So, yeah, see? That's, I don't know if you could see it. It's a little green. So something was, hold on, let me open this up one more time. There we go, fold it over. So something, just like to make sure. Because I'm not losing my food, right? And I hope you don't either. It's best to make sure. See, now the rims are clean. Now I can add those. Now I can add the lids on. I'll be back in a minute. I'm glad I thought of this. Some things you have to debubble, okay? And as I showed you before, you can either use this. I showed you my other video. You can use this, okay? Which means you could use this end, the end of it, to go down in and debubble. That's to make sure there's no bubbles in the bottom, okay? Because sometimes when you make things, there's bubbles down in there, and it makes it worse for you, and your jars can crack. So it's called debubbing. You could use that, or what I like to use is a plain old chopstick. Excuse me, a Chinese chopstick, right? Chopstick's good. It's thin, fits down in there. Chopstick will make sure there's no bubbles down in there. Keep a chopstick on hand. In fact, I should have did this actually before I wiped the rims, which means I'm just going to have to wipe the rims over again. Kind of like making mistakes though, really, because it teaches people from your mistakes. So, you know, go down in there. Make sure there's no bubbles in there. I think I did this one already. Debubble first, whatever you're putting in there. Okay. And do this one, debubble. It's cool, it's good. Okay, now I will re-wipe the rims real quick, which I don't think I made a mess, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Re-wipe them. Okay, always remember to wipe your rims. Okay, save your food, save your jars, save yourself time, right? That's clean. Flip it over. A couple more. There. All right. And then I'll put those on and then put them into the cold water. Okay. Here we go. And I wanted to add this on. When you put your lids on, make it finger tight, like that. Don't put it on too tight. Okay. We don't want to be like Samson, right? All right. My lids are on and my rings are on. And I'm ready to put my navy beans and green juice, or greens juice, however you want to say it, my kale juice, into the pressure cooker. And where I'm at, I'm above 1,000 feet altitude. So when you're above, you can use 10 pounds, 10-pound pressure. But when you're above, when you're above 1,000 feet, I wish I can find my thing. Oh, it's in here. Yeah, this is where I keep it, my Splenda drawer. When you're above 1,000 feet, okay, just put on a 15. All three are 15, 2 or 10. Take this one off if you want 10, and take both of them off if you just want 5. So I'm going to use all three, 15 pounds of pressure. All right, because look, go. I think you could go online and just say, ask Google, say, what is my altitude for my address? And it will tell you what your altitude is. Now mine, if you're 1,000 above sea level, you add to that 10 pounds. Okay, I am only like 1183 or 1190 something. I mean, 11 something. But still, I could go by 10 if I want to, but I just go by 15 to be safe, okay? You don't want to make anybody sick with your food, right? So I'm going by 15. I'm over 1,000, so I'm going by 15 from where I live at. All right, I'm going to put them in cold, cold, and cold. Everything's cold. Okay, so it ended up being 9 pints. 9 pints of Great Northern beans. I have 9 in here, 3, 6, 9. 9 pints of Great Northern beans. So what I will do now is I will put the lid on, and it says use 11 pounds of pressure, which means you could use 10 or 15. I will use the 15 to be safe, okay? And since beans are like a meat, you process them for 75 minutes. Okay, meats are 75 minutes. If you cold pack your meat, even if you hot pack or cold pack, meat is 75 and fish is 90. And that's for a pressure cooker. Now, if you're going to use the old-fashioned cookers, canning pots, okay, you would put your meat in it, cover it up with about 2 inches of water. Bring your water up to the blue or black one, whatever you're going to be using. Bring your water up to about 2 inches above the jars, and then you cook them in the old-fashioned canner. You cook your meat for 3 hours, okay, and cook your fish for 4 hours. See? Okay, and I have well water, and we have a very good system downstairs where our water is like 99.9% pure, but I'm still going to add the little bit of alcohol that was left over. Vinegar. I'm going to add it down in there because I see the discoloration from when I made the salsa. So I add the rest of that vinegar down in there just in case. When you add vinegar, it stops your jars from coming out cloudy. And as I said in my other video, you don't want to jolt your jars. So I'm going to turn this up. It's cold right now, okay? I'm going to turn this up. I don't think you can see back there. Let me see. There we go. I'm going to start around, because I don't want to jolt my jars. I'll start around 6. And if that's too high and it starts steaming and acting crazy, then I'll turn it down a little bit. And then you will let the steam come up out of here for 10 minutes. Allow it to vent for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, then you put on your weight. Okay, the thing we call the hulu dancer. You put on your weight after 10 minutes. Okay, and when you put it on, that will pop up, means it's at pressure. And sometimes it pops up before, but just make sure you count 10 minutes. That allows all the air to come out of your jars and your canner and everything before you put the weight on. And after 10 minutes, you put your weight on, and then it'll start rocking, and then you can start counting your 75 minutes. And while I'm waiting for the water to come up to boil, I just want to add this in too. The outside rings that you use, sometimes they get, in fact, I kind of like them a little bit when they get like this. It's like antique or something. They'll turn colors on you, okay? And they get old. But as long as you clean them on the inside, right? That's not what matters. Just clean them on the inside to the best you can, the best of your ability. Because people have been using those for years. There's old people from way back when that are using old rings like that, okay? And sometimes they even look rusty, but don't judge a person and say that they're nasty, because they're not nasty. They just get, yeah, this, I think this one has been used one time or two times. And sometimes, it only depends on what company you order from. But here's the catch. Just don't, make sure that this isn't rusty, and make sure you have a good seal. Make sure there's no holes in that seal. Make sure it's good. There can be imperfections like that, the little thing or whatever. Just make sure that is not rusty or messed up, the part where the food goes, and you'll be okay. And back in the day, I want to get something straightened out now so nobody will do it. Oh, because I tried. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought something was at my feet. I tried and it didn't work for me. I had a couple jars I had to do over. People say, oh, I used mine twice. Oh, yeah, I used mine twice. Yeah, right. Back in the day, you could use these twice, okay? But today, these companies are slick. They know what they're doing. They make it so that you can only get one use out of it. And if you try to use it twice, it's on you, because there's not enough on there to be used twice. See? So be careful. Okay, it just started boiling, and it seems like it's boiling really fast. So what I will do is I will turn it from, I have it on 7. Now we'll turn it down to like between 4 and 5. And it just started to steam. See the steam? So I'm going to count 10 minutes from now, and then I'll put the weight on. All right, I turned it down a few minutes ago, just a couple minutes ago, and it slowed down, but I still have that nice stream. Okay, I just put it on. I put my weight on, and soon this should pop up, which I will stand here because once I walk away, it will pop up. Once it comes to pressure. I have 15-pound pressure back there, so. Looks like it's ready. I want you to be able to see. There you go. Steam. See it popping? Let's get ready to come up. One of these years. It's almost getting up to pressure. And there it goes.